Hello and welcome to another glorious read. I am your host, Aspen Sage. Let's get into it. Ooh, the countdown for Halloween is coming up. We're less than 6, 7 days. I lose track of time very easily. So with that being said, my next read, I was choosing between the Halloween Boys, the dark romance series there, or the Court of Ravens. And guess which one I chose? I went with Court of Ravens. I've been seeing it a lot more on my feeds from other authors, from readers, from reviewers. So I said, what the heck, I am going to dabble in this book and see what it's about. Well, it definitely took me by storm. Liz Zanders did a fantastic job of creating this world, this fantasy, enemies to lovers kind of thing. It definitely took me by surprise. It wasn't only enemies to lovers, like I said, but it's also about double lovers. It's kind of a king and a best friend kind of deal with the one woman, but it's also a lot of hatred. It's a lot of love. It's a lot of want to devote but can't. So this book has actually 3 main characters. There's a female character, Galantia. There's Malyr, who is the king of ravens, the ones that shadow. And then there's Sebian. Sabian's the best friend, who is also a pathfinder. So anyway, this book is called Furious of Feathers. And like I said, it's the first book of the Court of Ravens. I loved it because it was so in-depth. The movie, it felt like being in a movie of how depth this world is, how deep and dark it was. So this book actually was on a little bit more of a darker scale. Words were not phrased nicely, more blunt, more deep, more provocative. There's a lot of trigger warnings for some people in this book. But it was so good. So the book basically is about Galantia. Galantia is from a human settlement or a human castle. She is the daughter of a lord or king in this instance, who are fighting against the ravens. The ravens are these people who can disperse themselves into 5 different ravens, but they can come back and become human again. So it's a battle between the 2 races. Galantia knows about it. In the beginning of the book, she ends up killing one. It was completely by accident. It was just to slow the boy down. And you find out his true identity later in the story. So she's being sent away, the older she is, to marry a different lord, a human lord. And it comes to the ravens kidnapping her. Mostly Sebian. He is very drawn to this woman. He likes her. He finds out that who her betrothed is, and he wants basically revenge on that said betrothal because he killed his family and he was unable to save them. So Galantia is basically thrown into this Raven camp. Asker, who is a side character, who is more of a fortune teller, he sees her. She is vital. He doesn't know why, but he knows that she is vital to get his mate back, who has been captured by Galantia's father. And they're thinking, okay, maybe if we keep her pure, because she is a virgin at the beginning of this book, that they could trade that said daughter for this man's mate, this other raven. So Galantia slowly is incorporated into the raven lifestyle. She knows nothing. This poor child has been kept in the shadows. She is completely, as they call, closed. She was told no running, no crying, nothing. She was supposed to be just basically the shell of a person. And that was the thing, is even when her lady that took care of her chambermaid, basically got killed, slaughtered in front of her, she wasn't able to cry. She was devastated. She was hurt. She was hated it so much. She was angry, but she couldn't cry. She couldn't express any emotion because it was just so drawn into her. So in this camp, she meets Malyr. Malyr is the king of the ravens. He is the highest of the high. He's the prince. So he has cursed with shadows. These shadows like to basically kill everybody around them. They've killed his parents. They've killed his sister, people that he holds dear. And when he finds out who she is, they want to kill her too. Like I said, this is more of a trio, enemies to lover kind of book. Sebian is very attached to this woman. He wants to protect her. He likes her very much. He cares about her. He's very soft about her. He's trying to be the hero. He's trying to make up for what he wasn't able to do. While Malyr wants to break her. He wants to destroy her. And throughout the book, it seems like they're all getting closer. They seem to be really getting into, like, okay, she's like, this is my life. She wants love is what her main goal is. She wants to be loved. Her father never loved her. Her mother never really loved her. Only Risa, who was her caretaker, kind of loved her. So she's really fighting for love. And when the word comes from her father that she's still intact, blah, 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 that they basically want to offer her to the Raven Prince as marriage, to keep them civil. Of course, Malyr uses this to his advantage and uses it to basically corrupt her. His whole idea is to break her. Near the end of the book, it seems like he's really going for her. He really likes her. He's starting to realize, he's like, yes, I can never be gentle with you, but he goes, but I think I can love you. He's like, I've seen you for a very long time. And of course, Sebian knows something's up. He goes, there's no way Malyr is this nice. He goes, there's no way, especially with so-and-so's daughter. He goes, something's up. Finds out there's a game plan. And then the end of the book is such an awful, awful cliffhanger. I am so happy the other book's out to leave you. But it's such an awful... It basically comes with Malyr saying, I never loved you. You were nothing but a pawn. And he goes, and Sebian, he can't love you either because he made a promise to his dead mate that he can never love anybody else but her, you know? And so she is completely, finally, like, broken down. Nobody will ever love her. She goes, your own family doesn't love you. We don't love you. There is no love in this world for you. And she basically finally cries. And she doesn't just cry for all the people she's lost and how she can never be loved. She cries for herself. And then something magical happens that she is basically a different breed. She is not even human. She's not a raven, but she is. If it's kind of weird, she is what they call a white raven. And it's kind of an Easter egg throughout the book. I don't want to spoil it because it's such a thing. Like, there's Easter eggs leading up to it. You just kind of know. So I'm interested to find the next book. I feel like the next book is going to be like, Sebian be like, holy crap, I knew there was something special about her, but I didn't know that. I feel like Malyr is going to be like, now that I know who she truly is, he goes, there's no way that, you know, she's so-and-so's daughter. And I feel like he's going to try to bring her back in. I feel like this is going to be a trouble, maybe at the end. Or, I don't know, there's even a possibility that Galantia is just going to wipe them all out. Like, she's just going to be like, no, I'm done with all the bull crap. Nobody ever's going to love me, so I'm going to take rule. I just feel like there's a lot that could happen in the next book, and I'm excited. So that's going to be my next read. It's going to be the next Court of Ravens. Like I said, this book is so in-depth. And, of course, you find a little bit of the backstory of why, not just because they're humans and ravens, but why Malyr hates her father so much. And I think it deep down is because, not just because he was captured, but the things they did to him. This book does involve assault, unconsented, there's forced pregnancies, stuff like that. But the depth of this fantasy novel is so deep. Like, you can actually feel like you're there. There is a little bit of cringy parts. In my opinion, a little bit of cannibalism, but at the same time, I don't know how people are going to see it. Like I said, this is definitely a higher on the dark romance scale. Like, I'm I'm worried about the next book, but it's not that. I mean, level, it's a 5-star. I love this book. I think it was really great, especially about this time of year, being Halloween, being spooky, especially where ravens are usually known with being specters and stuff like that in the other realm. So I felt like this was a good book to choose. And like I said, next read is going to be the second book. And I'm really curious to know how it's going to play out. Like I said, I'm wondering what Galantia's fate is going to be. I'm also wondering if Malyr is actually her real mate. That's why he's feeling so unrestless throughout the book, not just because his deep sworn hate for her. But I feel like she might be actually his mate. Kind of like the opposite of his shadows. Maybe she's made to control it. But I don't think she's going to be able to choose between him and Sebian, because I think she generally loves him, but I feel like because she is mated with the prince, possibly, that she wouldn't be able to choose between them. And I feel like she's going to rise to the throne and be this strong, powerful woman. So I'm excited to know what the next book is. And like I said, Halloween is coming. I hope everybody's going to have an awesome time. Make sure you light your candles and stuff. But yeah, this book got me good. I loved every bit of it. I think it was definitely the spice was there. I can't say that the spice made me blush. I feel like that doesn't really happen anymore reading more of these books. But I definitely think it's on a high 4.7 scale. To some who are not used to it, I'd say it's a 5. So it's definitely inscripted. You definitely get the feel of how the characters are working, how the characters are being together, how they're molding together. I just don't feel like it's spicy. Especially when it's Galantia and Malyr. It's very dark. It's very painful. There's a lot of hand necklacing and smacking and bruises, while her and Sebian is more of a romantic, let me tend to you kind of love story there. So I think that's also why she's not going to be able to choose, because one's obviously a rough lover while the other one's more content in taking care of her. So with that being said, keep a lookout for review number 2 of the second book. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep working on my book. I am almost done with my 4th book, kind of going through, reading it, adjusting it. I'm not saying that my stories are going to be perfect until they are out and about. But like I said, I am working on going through the 12 books. I would love to get them all out at once, but obviously that doesn't work. But I do want to get the first 2 back out as revision editions, so that the story has not changed. The story is exactly the same. They're just a little bit deeper in detail, a little bit more feeling, a little more words being played. So the story is staying the same. It still ends in the same plot. It's just slight words are changed, more emotions into a scene have been added, or more in depth into a scene. Where my books are a paranormal romance, they're also an urban fantasy, so they're present day. Mostly because why not? It's the idea that even though we don't know it, there is people out there that may be more in depth with the paranormal or magical realm that we are not aware of. Like I said, It includes the 12 zodiacs, what I call the celestials in my book. Human-born people that are born with these plagues inside them, who have elemental abilities. And because they are so precious to the world, that if one is lost, it's devastation. If the king is lost, it's apocalypse. So that's why they have these demigods or these beasts, who were handpicked by 4 gods and goddesses to basically save this realm, keep the celestials protected. So, and as you could probably guess, obviously stories grow, stories change. There's matches that you wouldn't think would happen. There's characters that come about that you're like, oh wow, I didn't think of that. So, like I said, it's basically a story about the Celestials leading up to this war, like a all-holy war against the devil himself, Cain. Because Cain's main existence is to destroy them. Like, he wants them gone so his true plans can unfold. Regardless, a different story for a different time. But I hope everybody enjoys their day. Definitely, if you want a dark romance to read, or enemies to lovers, or you just want something a little bit more darker for this coming season, definitely pick up the Court of Ravens. I want to say Thorns and Roses, but it's not the same, obviously. Like I said, Liv Zinger did awesome, and it's a really good book. I give it a 5 stars. I think you should read it if you're definitely into the darker romance series. But thank you for joining in. Go do something for yourself. Go get a book. Go get a massage. Go on a trip somewhere exciting to just get the blood flowing. Especially if you're an artist of any kind, just to get that brain juice flowing, just to get your creations out there so people can, support you. Or if you're not that kind of person, just go do something fun and be like, it's a good day. It's a good day, and I'm glad I did this. But thank you for listening, and I hope everybody has a fantastic day, and catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.